What's the deal with Air Neos? I would like to throw my 2 cents into the ring when it comes to elemental hero Air Neos, one of the most discussed cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know other Yu-Gi-Tubers have brought up the topic, however, they're not Janjo. I'm in the top 2, and I'm sure as heck not number 2. For those who aren't aware, may wonder why this, of all cards, is so controversial. It's a fusion monster release in Strike of Neos that requires elemental hero Neos and Neospatian Air Hummingbird. Once you contact fuse into this winged warrior, it contains the following effect. While your life points are lower than your opponent's, this card gains attack equal to the difference. This card returns to the extra deck during the end phase. Due to the nature of Neospatians, the card has never seen any meta play, unlike its hero cousins. As Yu-Gi-Oh! Progresses throughout the years, cards in older sets become tougher to obtain, and as such, reprints are needed. This can be for scarcity's sake, like Mirror Force, for example, only had a single printing for a few years. Alternatively, a reprint could be meant for a downgrade or a bump in rarity to make a card easier to purchase, or perhaps to increase a new print's value. Typically, Konami will reprint cards for contemporary reasons, while leaving banned cards on the wayside until they potentially return from the Forbidden Zone. Another reason is to reprint cards in a collection set, whether for a specific anime character or a catch-all for a region who missed out on certain sets, or for beginner duelists like with Dark Beginning. All this makes the Air Neo situation that much stranger. The odd thing is that this card was never banned or on the list in any capacity. Strike of Neos was released in February 2007 with a special edition release in March 2007. The set contained Air Neos in 2 rarities, Ultra Rare and Ultimate Rare. So there was certainly room for a lower rarity in a supplemental set down the line. And down the line was a lot of time. As of 2024, Air Neos has never been reprinted, despite Konami releasing a variety of potential opportunities, such as Duelist Pack Jade and Yuki 3 in 2008, Legendary Collection 2 The Duel Academy Years in 2011, and Speed Duel Midterm Destruction in 2024. Technically speaking, Air Neos has seen a reprint. In 2019, Korea got their hands on Strike of Neos, which left unchanged from its 2007 print. And I mean that literally, aside from the language change. The style of the card is still pre-Master Rule 2 layout where the text background was darker, meaning that Korea Strike of Neos wasn't a wholly new reprint, nor was it legal for play outside that region anyways. And the special editions, which include the blister packs and special edition box, do technically count as a reprint, but this is more of an actually argument since they were printed not long after the first edition prints. Additionally, there was a product called Samurai Assault in 2011, which was composed of a promotional copy of Elder of the Six Samurai and 3 booster packs, Crimson Crisis, Storm of Ragnarok, and you guessed it, Strike of Neos. Once again, however, this was just Konami stuffing an old pack into a new box and not a reprint of Strike of Neos, except for one thing. This print of Air Neos did change its text slightly, adjusting the term Fusion Deck to Extra Deck. So I guess this technically counts as a reprint then, but let's be real, that's not what people want. The card hasn't been widely available in any significant release since 2007, and as such, the price of the card has remained high, ranging over $100 to hundreds if you're seeking that ultimate rare. So this leads us to the list of reasons many have speculated. First reason some argued was that Konami feared that the Italian airline Neos would come after them for sounding similar. This is just silly, as no one in their right mind would confuse this for this. I'm aware copyright laws are different in other countries, but come on, really? The airline is called Neos, with their website being Neos Air, which is not Air Neos. For their main name alone, the reasoning could extend to all Yu-Gi-Oh! Neos cards, not just Air Neos. And I don't believe for one second that Konami is about to stop printing Elemental Hero Neos for an airline in another continent. The second theorized reason for the lack of reprint is a discrepancy with the Air Neos artist, whoever that may be. I've already made a video discussing artists behind Yu-Gi-Oh! And the controversy that follows the company and how they deal with their artists, in-house or not. So there's always the possibility that the artist in question piss off Konami internally for a personal reason or a legal threat. If Konami didn't like the artist, then a ban on their card does make sense. But what I find odd is that did the artist only produce a singular card? It's tough to tell when the Neos cards share a similar art style. If it's for such a key archetype at this time in the game, why would Konami give an artist a single card and that's it? If the issue arose as fast as one card being produced, then it doesn't quite check out with the recorded practices of Konami affairs. And if it was in legal hell, surely someone would have located some papers on the matter by now. Would Konami be that scared by a single artist? I'm not so sure. I think they'd rather just print the card until the artists go f themselves. I doubt it's an issue where Konami later found out that the card used stolen assets, considering how tight they are with unique assets in the first place. Although this could be the situation that causes strictness, there's no way to know. If it is an art-related reason, then Konami could produce an alternate art card using wholly original textures and transformative art. Because Konami has included Air Neos in select video games like Legacy of the Duelist, but not Master Duel or Duel Links, which leads to the belief that they simply didn't want this card to be sold in any capacity. Possibly the artist found some loophole to where they received some monetary gain from the name on what would otherwise be fully Konami owned. Most of the time, these business decisions come down to one thing: money. You want value from the work you did for us? Bah, we'd rather just forget you even made the card. This leads me to a sillier reason that Konami is just messing with us. Yeah, some internal joke to pull on the fanbase for such an inconsequential card. In the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga, the mangaka mentioned how the devs took his creations in Dark End Dragon and Light End Dragon and printed them as synchro monsters, a card type he swore not to use since he was the GX Fusion guy. I don't know if this was his belief or if this was a real situation that Konami turned his work against him as a prank, though I suppose we'll never know given how tight-lipped the company is. Having Air Neos fit this build just seems odd considering it's only the one card and would be a joke lasting over 15 years. At some point, the $ eyes for a reprint would surely get in the way. I will mention that one Reddit user brought up a similar situation in which SMK, almost comically, pretended that an old fighter from King of Fighters never existed. It doesn't ultimately mean anything in regards to my own argument, but it's worth mentioning to back up the sillier reason, that it's not far off for a company to pull something like this. For all we know, it could be some rights thing with Takahashi's brand or Gallop, in which I argue that's not the case when the card game is specifically under Konami's umbrella since they own the rights to its distribution. It could even be Konami trying to artificially raise up hype for a reprint 20 years in the future, which in that case would be a 4D chess move. But then again, ask a friend. There's also the theory on some legal disputes during the Upper Deck lawsuits about prints of Air Neos being counterfeit, which for that argument would mean all the cards in Strike of Neos. There have been cards that still haven't seen reprints outside the OCG for one reason or another, like Shuttleroid, True Exodia, and Giga Ray's Gandora, which for all we know could be simple imports that Konami forgot about. Though I doubt Air Neos was forgotten about considering he was seemingly actively left out of the art of instant contact. What do I think? I think we'll never know the real reason unless someone steps forward on the matter. There can be a multitude of reasons, from legal disputes, artist controversies, or even an odd prank. And I hope I was able to cover any leading cases I could find. People online can say that it must be this or that, and yet that's all they are: rumors, speculations, and conspiracy theories. For my money's worth, I would lean something involving money, whatever that may be. Either way, Air Neos has remained an anomaly for Yu-Gi-Oh fans and is worth bringing up now and again just to remind people that we still actually have no idea what's going on. But what do you all think? You think it's due to a reason mentioned earlier, or will we ever actually see a new print of a card that nobody plays?